All right. Well, welcome to the pre-arrival series for incoming students for fall 2026. This is our third session in our pre-arrival series for this summer, and this one is all about preparing for life in Fayetteville. I do want to say we are going to have a time for questions at the end, so you can hold off your questions until the end of the presentation, or you can write them in the chat as we go along, and we'll address those questions at the end. I'm going to just introduce the first person on our call who's going to share about preparing for life in Fayetteville, and that is Sloan Jeffries. And so they'll take it away.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Sloan. I'm one of the graduate assistants here at the ISS office, and I am also an international student. And exactly as Kirsten said, we'll be talking a little bit about some stuff that you can do to prepare for life in Fayetteville. So what we're talking about today is what to bring with you, when you should plan to be here, where you can stay, where you can live, and then a couple of other support resources for when you do arrive that you can kind of check out in advance, just to sort of get you a little bit more comfortable in Fayetteville. So a little bit about our office. Our office is the ISS office, and so it'll be me and our director, Sarah, presenting for you today. And what we do is we can support you while you're still in your home country. We are the first stop that you can come to for questions, and we also help you maintain your immigration status. So that is a little bit about us. And as I said, it'll be me and our director, Sarah, talking with you today about arrival. And I'll introduce Sarah when she gets into her first slide. So starting off right off the bat, I just want to talk a little bit about some things to bring with you and to think about when you're packing to come to Arkansas. You'll get a copy of this. There'll be a PDF of this available to you, so you can always come back and reference this list. This is not an exhaustive list. We kind of put this together in terms of things that you're either maybe not thinking about immediately or just to talk about a little bit of the nuance with them. So obviously the first thing is going to be those important immigration documents that you should keep with you while you're traveling. And we also highly recommend that you keep copies of them in your checked baggage. And then one other important document to bring with you is any immunization records that you may have. The state of Arkansas does have some requirements for that. So if you have from when you were a baby or anything like that, or if you got vaccinations more recently, bring all those records with you so that you to meet some of those state regulations. Kind of on that note, we also highly recommend that you bring at least a year's supply of any medications that you might take, because it can be kind of hard to get those prescriptions refilled once you're in the States. There is a health center on campus, but bringing a decent supply with you is always a good idea. Always extra pair of eyeglasses, anything like that, eye care, dental care, et cetera, is very expensive. It can be very expensive in the US. So just kind of preparing ahead for that. Clothing, I'll talk a little bit about that on the next slide as well. But clothing for the season that you're going to be here for, and you'll be here in August, so that'll be the summer season in Arkansas. That is very warm and very humid. And then we also suggest any sort of business to business casual attire as well, as there's often a lot of events that are happening, kind of mixers and stuff like that to meet faculty. And there's usually some job fairs as well in that first couple months of the semester. Some of the miscellaneous items that you might not think about are Social Security card, if you have one. If you don't, we are able to kind of help you get one, and we'll talk more about that once you guys actually arrive. If you have a driver's license in your home country, highly recommended that you bring that as well. Contact information, power adapter for anything that you need to plug in, and then a small amount of US currency with access to perhaps a little bit more, as you're not going to get, if you might need some of that just sort of financial support when you first get here. The other recommendation that we make is if you got some space, any sort of small items from home, such as like photos, recipes, if you have any cultural dress that you want to bring with you. We have lots of opportunities as an office to kind of share those and share those with both the campus community and the greater Fayetteville community as well. So as I said, going to talk a little bit about the summer weather here. If you are from a warmer climate, it might not be that crazy hot for you. As I said, I am also an international student. I'm Canadian. So for me, once it gets above about 30 degrees Celsius, which is like, ooh, high 70s, low 80s in Fahrenheit, I'm done. I'm like, this is too hot for me, especially because I'm from a very arid climate and it's very, very humid in Arkansas. So if you're checking the weather, also check the feels like temp. There is a thing called a humididex where the air temp might only be, 25, 26, 27 Celsius, but the feels like temp is like 35 because of how much humidity is in the air. So in your weather app, there's usually a little feels like temp as well. Um, Everywhere says this about their weather, but if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes. It'll probably change. And that I feel like is kind of true for most places, but especially definitely true in Arkansas. I know literally yesterday I was outside walking, beautiful sunny day, and it was raining within like 10 minutes of that. And then it was beautiful and not raining anymore, like another 20 minutes later. So it's kind of all over the place. Later in the semester, it'll definitely get cooler. And then in the winter, so that'll be in your spring semester, it will probably dip into the freezing levels as well. Um, Definitely highly recommend bringing water with you everywhere. And any sort of quick dry, like sort of athletic clothing is going to help keep you cool as well. All that being said, I'm sure you've heard Americans love their air conditioning. So it might be, 95 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees, not Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And then the air conditioning is set to 65 inside. So it's a pretty jarring shift. And it can be like, I know I wear, like, I keep a sweater in my desk at work. And I'll keep like a sweater or something like that in my backpack if I'm going to the library or anything like that. Because the library, especially, is just very, very cold. So outside temp versus inside temp is very different. And I'll pass it off to Sarah to talk about some arrival dates.
Yes, first of all, I'm just so thrilled to see so many on the call today and excited to meet you soon. When will we meet you? Around August 7th and August 12th. So when you're booking your flights, important question, when should I arrive? You can enter the US anytime up to 30 days before the semester starts, 30 days from the start date on your I-20. But you might have trouble finding temporary housing or not want to get here too early. So what we recommend is for you to be here in Fayetteville by August 6th if you're a graduate student, so that you're ready to join us for Welcome Day on August 7th. Undergrad students, we encourage you to arrive by August 11 so that you can attend Welcome Day for undergrads on August 12th. We also have Immigration Basics, which is part of our orientation programming. We have Immigration Basics and Welcome Days. Welcome Days are big events where you'll meet a lot of people. Immigration Basics are smaller sessions that you choose the date for that. So beginning August 3rd, you can choose an Immigration Basics session that matches your schedule. If you are arriving on August 11 to join on August 12th Welcome Day, then you would choose your Immigration Basics for, accordingly after that date. The registration happens through your application portal. There are links here for undergrad or grad. Make sure that you register in advance for Immigration Basics because those seats do fill up, and there are steps that you'll need to take before the Immigration Basics session that are tied to your registration. So do register for that session if you haven't yet. Some other arrival tips. You should book your flight into XNA. So that will take you specifically to Bentonville. There is a Fayetteville, North Carolina. So, excuse me. So if you are just searching for flights and you search Fayetteville, make sure that it's XNA airport code so that you actually end up in the right part of the US. Where to stay when you first arrive, we encourage you to check out this Experience Fayetteville website. It has a list of so many different options that fit your preferences, your budget, different hotels, Airbnbs, cheaper places to stay, a more amenity-filled places to stay. So just shop around to see what best fits your schedule. We do find that most people need some temporary housing before they're able to really move into whether they're on-campus housing or their off-campus apartment. So probably budget in and plan for a couple of days at least of that temporary housing. Any questions you have, our arrival team is really happy to help you understand your next steps or how to find the resources that you're looking for. Please email us any of your questions at iss@uark.edu. And now Sloan will talk more about housing and how to find that.
Yeah, so I'll talk very briefly about on-campus housing. So this is only mostly for undergraduate students. So if you are an undergraduate freshman under the age of 21, you are actually required to live on campus. If you go to housing.uark.edu, there are instructions for how to complete that contract, etc. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always email housing@uark.edu. For transfer and graduate students, or transfer students specifically, housing may be available upon request. Again, you should reach out to housing directly. They'd be able to give you kind of a better idea of what's available there. And then for graduate student housing, I will send it back to Sarah as that is new and we have some exciting news about it. You're on mute, Sarah.
Yep, got it. Okay, thank you. So we are really excited this semester to be offering graduate on-campus housing. This is what we would say the best of both worlds, where we're able to offer you the safety and ease of living on campus or having university facilitated housing, but it is slightly off campus so that you have that freedom of kind of living more in the community. And part of the benefit of this is that utilities, Wi-Fi, things like that are baked into the price. You don't have to set that up separately. We find that to be a really point of difficulty for a lot of international students when you first arrive, trying to set up all of the amenities that go along with your housing when you don't have a social security number yet or you're not aware of the system yet. So I encourage you to check out our on-campus graduate housing. And again, that's booked through the university and paid for through your university portal. So it's kind of different from just finding off-campus housing elsewhere. Now, if you take a look at that accommodation and it's just not for you for whatever reason, we do have access to something called college pads, which help you to find off-campus housing options, but hopefully like through the U of A network. So if you look at this housing website, you'll be able to look for roommates with other U of A students, look for apartments or houses for rent that are elsewhere in the community. When you are looking for your accommodations, we encourage you to be aware of scams. This is just a time in your transition where you are kind of susceptible to being taken advantage of. So use this University of Arkansas guide for avoiding scams related to housing. I encourage you to take a look at this link and so that you can spot when an opportunity might not be authentic. Remember, when you are creating your housing arrangements, once you sign a lease, it is legally binding. It's very hard, if not impossible, to get out of a lease without paying a lot of money. So be aware when you're signing that lease, you really are agreeing to live there, to pay rent, to follow the terms of the lease. An application is not a lease. So you can submit applications and inquiries with different places, but you only have that facility once you sign the lease. We'll talk a little bit about cost of living. When you're in a new area, especially a new country, it can take a while to get used to what things cost and like how to manage your budget. So we do link here to a cost of living estimate, which we can give you an idea of what people are generally spending on the kind of things that you would need to live. Utilities are often separate from rental costs, so be aware of that. How much you're paying for rent each month is not the full payment. So factor in probably about $100 to $200 additionally for those expenses. And I will pass it back to Sloan to talk about other support services that we have for you.
Yeah. So I did say that our office right at the beginning is kind of we are always happy to be your first stop for any questions that you have. And we do try to connect you with a lot of other things that are going on campus and in the community as well. So we are happy to be sort of like your hub for finding these resources. But of course, our office is only so many people, so we can't do everything. And so I'm just going to mention very quickly a couple of resources to kind of like help you with some of those things that you may need right when you first get here. So the University of Arkansas Volunteer Action Center and Food Pantry is a place that if you need some food staples or anything like that, they have. It is a big building, it's not quite a warehouse, but it is a fairly large building, and they're always happy to help students. And even as international students, you are eligible to use their services. It is for all students. They even have an online portal, so you can order some of their, like, it's not their whole selection, but you can order some of their like shelf stable stuff online and actually pick it up, like set it to be picked up in Holcomb Hall. They have a few other places that you can pick it up, but I know for sure you can get it picked up at Holcomb Hall. So if you need a little bit of extra help with some pantry staples, they're there. You can also visit them in person, and they have quite a bit more of a selection than what they have online. This other website that we have there is wellbeing.uark.edu, and the food pantry is listed on there, but any other support services that you may need, that's kind of a really good hub to get connected with some of the resources that are available through the university. And as students at the university, you do have access to them, regardless of whether you're grad or undergrad students. And then we do just want to do a little shout out to a community-based organization. They are faith-based. They are not affiliated with the University of Arkansas, but a lot of our students do use their resources. They're called Furniture Friends, and they're just kind of, if you do end up not living, so the on-campus graduate housing is fully furnished, so you don't have to think about getting a bed or getting like a kitchen table, a couch, anything like that. But if you do eventually move off into off-campus housing, you're probably going to need a lot of those things. And Furniture Friends is an organization that's what they do is help people get furniture for, I think it might even be free. The stipulation is that you just return it to them when you no longer need it. So those are just some of the support resources for when you get here that you can kind of take a look at as you're preparing and getting excited about coming to Arkansas. And then I'm going to talk about one more thing. So that's meeting all of your basic like housing and food, et cetera, needs. You also are a whole person, and so connecting and building community is also part of those needs. So I want to give a quick shout out to HogSync, which is a university platform for it's any of our registered student organizations and any other. So that's like the chess club could be a registered student organization. Anything like that is they are required to post everything that they do on HogSync. So if you want to get involved in something, HogSync is the place to check it out, and you can just log in with your regular university credentials and just kind of check out what's going on there. I also usually find a lot of departmental talks there. So if there's like a visiting lecturer and stuff like that, it's also often posted on HogSync. So you can just kind of see big calendar of what's going on across campus, which on that, our office also posts everything that we do on HogSync. So that second link there is a link to our HogSync page as a office. I don't think we have anything posted on there right now, but come the start of the semester, we will definitely be having stuff posted on there. And a lot of our events, both on the compliance side and on the engagement programming side, are all posted on HogSync. So it's a great way to kind of just like think about ways that you want to be involved on campus outside of the lab, outside of the library, outside of your studies. Because as I said, you are a whole human being, and building community and connection is a big part of that. I do want to just quickly mention our arrival form, and we'll talk more about this next week as well. But please fill out your arrival form. It is through your application portal. There is also links here for it. But please fill it out. It's how you request a shuttle if you would like shuttle service. It is free to students. If you have a guest or anything like that, then they would have to pay an additional fee. But it is free to you as students to request a shuttle from the airport to any location within Fayetteville. Even if you don't want that, though, please fill out your arrival form. There's a option very early on that says, no, I don't want a shuttle service. And then that we don't need a bunch of you don't fill out most of the form then at that point, but it does help us get an idea of when everyone is arriving so that we can plan accordingly. So even if you don't need a shuttle, please, please, please fill out your arrival form. And if your plans change at all, you can submit that form as many times as you need. So if you change a flight, something comes up, please update that arrival form as your plans change. That is the best way for us to know when to expect you guys, and again, so that we can plan accordingly. Thank you so much. And our last sort of thing that I have to talk about is, again, building community a little bit. We have a WhatsApp group chat that is just for you guys, the incoming fall, summer and fall 2026 students. So this will be a WhatsApp group that you can join. And then we also have some peer mentors. So our cross-cultural mentor team is also in this group chat so that they can chat with you and answer questions that you may have kind of about like what life is like in Fayetteville, maybe what you can expect from some classes and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. Fun things to do, people's favorite coffee shops, favorite places on campus, all that. I'll throw the link to this into the chat, and I think that's our whole presentation. So we can move into questions.
Thank you so much, Sloan and Sarah. So now if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and just ask. We also do have a representative from housing if you have any questions specific about that, or you can put your questions in the chat and we'll answer them from there.
Excuse me. Hi, so would you mind to share me the contact information for the International Student Health Insurance Coordinator? I do get some specific question I want to ask.
Did you ask about health insurance?
Yes, can you share me the contact information for that coordinator?
Yeah, I'll put her name in the chat for you and her
Oh,
email.
thank you.
Got it, Kristen.
Thanks.
So this page that I linked to gives you access to the plan brochure, details about the plan, along with the contact for the insurance liaison. So check that out for those questions.
I do see one student with their hand up, and so go ahead and unmute yourself or write your name in the chat or your question in the chat.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Jemercy Rodrigue. I'm in Belgium now, in Ghent University. So I'm gonna travel in US in August already because I have already my flight ticket and my visa. Then I have to move on 6th August. But I have already bargained some rooms in the same city, Fayetteville. So the landlord told me that I have to send money for the booking of the house. But I am not very sure that I can send it like that. But if you can have someone to whom we can discuss, then we can go there, look the room, if exactly the room exists or not, and if the landlord is very fair or not, it can help me a lot. I cannot send money like that. This is what I told him, but when he sent me the pictures, the room was very quiet, very nice, but for his case, he told me that the requirement is to send a booking. I have to send the money for booking. So I'm very doubt if it can be a good person or not, but if you can have someone who can lead me, or I can go there and see if it's possible to pay this room or not. Thank you.
Yeah, your concern makes so much sense. And honestly, this is one reason we would encourage you to check out our on-campus graduate housing. They are really nice. They are they're fully furnished. They are modern and have a lot of good amenities. And they are the safest in terms of avoiding scams and issues like that. So again, I do encourage you to check out the grad student housing that we have through the university. When it comes to making sure that you're avoiding a scam or wanting to know that the location is authentic before sending money, our office would not have capacity to look at that opportunity for you, but that is something that you could, if you have peers from your program or someone that you've already made contact with, another student on campus, that would be something that you could ask them if they're aware of this property or if they could go check it out for you.
Okay, thank you.
I saw a great question from Fernando within the introduction, which says, I would like to understand the expectations for coursework, time commitment, and how to balance the program with a full-time leadership role. I really appreciate you thinking about those things ahead of time. These are concepts that we'll cover during orientation, during welcome days, and during grad student orientation. We also, if you're thinking about your leadership role in terms of your graduate assistantship, there is a session that will happen hosted by the grad school, which covers this exactly, about expectations of your grad assistantship and how to balance all of it. So hold that question and we will cover that, and you will have the chance to talk with people once you are here and to learn from others about other students about how they're navigating all of those issues together. Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So my question is, I recently actually was able to acquire a graduate housing at one of your university leased graduate housing. I believe that is a flat on the hill. I acquired housing from the university housing email. They messaged me that they have assigned me one of the rooms there. They gave me the room number and everything. So I'm a graduate student. So I want to know when we are going to pick the times for early moving, because I'm going to arrive, God willing, somewhere around the 1st and the 2nd. But it says on the university website that the official leasing time begins on, I believe, the 6th or the 7th. So I want to apply for like early housing, pay for the days before the lease starts. So I want to know how that works with it. How can I get that?
Thank you for your question. I'll try to answer that one for you. Officially, the move-in date is the 6th for international students. I do not know if we will be able to house you prior to that date, as the two complexes that we are using, they were as part of the community of Fayetteville last year, and now they're we're exclusively with the campus partners this year. So as those students move out, the apartment complex needs some time to flip and basically clean, paint. We're also, as Sarah mentioned, we're providing furniture in these rooms for the first time. So we have to have time to move that furniture in, get it set up and get everything ready, get keys and that type of thing ready. So right now, August 6th is the first move-in date. And you know, I can't really promise at this point we can have anything ready prior to that date. If we can, we'll be glad to accommodate you. But as we sit here today, I would probably say August 6th, because we don't even have access to the property right now to move furniture in and that type of thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Danny, I would encourage you to look at the Experience Fayetteville. Oh. I would encourage you to look at the Experience Fayetteville website we referenced earlier for temporary housing to help smooth that transition from when you arrive on the 1st or the 2nd until when your apartment is available.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining our third series, our third session on our pre-arrival series for fall 2026. We're very excited. If you have more questions, feel free to contact iss@uark.edu or housing if you need questions specifically about that. Keep looking for your email. We're going to send these presentations to you with all the links provided.